Okay, hello everybody. We're going to be doing the UI UX workshop. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so we're going to be going over what UI UX is, and then we're going to be going over Figma, which is a program we like to use to help us create the UI and UX. And we're going to be demonstrating that after our lesson here. So what is UI UX? UI is the user interface, which is what players see, like for example on the Call of Duty main menu right here. And UX is a user experience, which is how the players experience that user interface. Yeah, so these two, they're distinct yet interconnected aspects of design that contribute to creating effective digital products. In this case, we're going to be focusing on games. So, as stated before, UI is the interface centered, focusing on how the product looks and functions visually, while UX is user-centered, prioritizing how a product feels and solves user problems. Now let's go over good UI and UX. Over here, we see the main menu for Dispatch, recently added game to Steam, and it's fairly simple and straight to the point. This is a good example of UI and UX. Here is more examples of Dispatch's gameplay. I like how it displays like what the buttons are with the name showing and like the little symbols. I don't know, overall it's a very cohesive and simple design that's easy to follow. Here's another good example, the volume function on your computer, where you can just slide it back and forth and it affects your volumes to your computer. And then let's go over bad UI UX. What? It's so dumb.
I'm so mad. I understood the volume.
Like, imagine that was the way to change your volume. That's very frustrating. Okay, now let's go over what Figma is.
Okay, so yeah, what is Figma? Figma is a collaborative interface design tool that you can use to create UI and UX elements. It's similar to Illustrator, where you can just like design assets and then export them for your games. And it's free, and you get premium access with your school account. And here are some of the tools. There's the move tool, a frame group tool, there's shape tools, rectangle, line, arrows, all of that, and pen and text tool. And these, of course, help you create the assets. But there's a distinction between frames and groups. Both are ways to like keep items together, but they have different use cases. So frames, resizing frames does not resize the elements inside. So if you grouped items together using a frame, they wouldn't resize as a unit. So it's best used to retain spacing or position of elements, or to change these things as a whole. And then groups, resizing does resize everything inside. And well, yeah, like I said, it's best used to resize everything as a unit. And then here's something called Boolean Operations, which is a way of combining elements. And well, yeah, it allows you to create new shapes by combining two or more shapes. And in Figma, when you use these operations, they don't delete the originals, because for example, Illustrator will do that. If you try to combine things, it'll just delete the original assets. But yeah, Figma retains them. So yeah, there's union, subtract, intersect, exclude, and flatten. And so flatten is what you would use if you wanted things to just become one together. Union uses like the topmost to create the union, and then just copies all the, subtracts the front object from the second object, or from the back objects. So as you can see here, like this shape comes from subtract. And then intersect just intersects them. It makes a tiny little square. And exclude does the opposite of intersect. So it'd just be like this part, and this part. And then yeah, flatten is just the same thing. And then there's blending modes that are essential tools for image editing, and it determines how two layers interact with each other. And opacity, of course, impacts an element's transparency, like how well you can see it. And blending modes are usually in every kind of design program, so the vast majority has these. So even though this is Figma, it would apply to basically everything else. So yeah, there's multiply, which would make things darker, overlay, and the rest of these, it really depends on how bright or saturated the color is for the outcome. Because you can see the outcome right here is very dark, and then here it's very light. So it really depends on what the topmost color is. And then be showing how to you can make UI UX on Figma. Okay, this is just a quick example of bad UI. Like this white on yellow, you can barely read that. Like if I zoom out, it's very hard to read. And the green is better, but still kind of not that distinct. The yellow the purple is much better, and the black is the best because it has the most contrast. And then yeah, this example of bad UI, there's 3 different fonts for some reason. Like the name has one font that's kind of illegible, and then there's this like typewriter-esque font for the dialogue, and then more like techie, I guess, font for the like options for the game. And you don't want to do that because that's too much going on in one like image or frame. And it's best to use 2 fonts max. Like most games will use 1 or 2 fonts maximum for their UI elements unless it's like extremely complicated. And then cool does not mean good. That just relates to this font mostly. Like it looks nice and fancy, but from a distance it might be harder to see what the name is supposed to be. And then the Figma tools, this is the move tool down here. You use V, the move tool, so this helps you, move stuff around. And this is a tiny bear I made. And then the frame tool is right here, this grid, and so that lets you, create the frames that you can hold everything in. And there's all these properties right here. It's like layout, position, rotation, all this stuff that you can play around with to make your frame. And then here's all the shape tools here. So yeah, there's rectangle, which makes rectangles, and squares, line, that makes lines, arrow, that makes arrows. You can't see it too well right here. There you go. So there's the arrow tool, circles or ellipses, of course, polygon that can make triangles, or if you just like select it and click, oh wait, never mind, I lied. But right here, there's the count that changes how many points is on there, so you can make triangles, polygons, all that kind of stuff. And then, there's just a star tool. That's fun. And you can also change the points there.
And you can manipulate the points too.
Yeah,
like double click.
Oh.
On the shape.
Yeah, if you double click, you can actually change them like individually. So that's pretty cool. It's also very similar to Illustrator. And then there is the pen tool, which is a pen. It can make curves, it can make straight lines. If you just click, it makes a straight line, but if you click and drag, that makes the curves. And then, of course, the text tool, hello world. It makes text. And then here's all the elements here to change the text. So yeah, the fonts, the thickness, all that fun stuff there. So basically with any tool, you look at the right side if that's how you have it set up. Well, that's the default. So yeah, the right side has all the properties there to manipulate everything. And that's the very basics of the tools. So I'll hand it off to Erin to make us a button. Yay!
Button! I know you guys are like making your games right now, and you might have like the default settings for like your main menu and other UI stuff, or like the pause menu. Well, this is useful if you want to make your game stand out more with a unique UI UX. So first step, we're going to be making a frame. Every time you start to create something, you make a frame. Could be any kind of frame. And then we're going to be doing a button, so we can click here and get our rectangle, click and drag. Okay. Now we can change the roundness here to anything we want. Maybe like 30. Cool. We can give it a stroke, and the stroke is like an outline. And just keep it black for now. Make it stand out against the white. And then we can change the weight, which affects like how thick the stroke will be. Make it 20. Boom. Okay. And then can add text here. Let's say starts. And then we can change like the font. See this one, make it bold. And change the spacing too a little bit. Look at that. And I press escape to select it, and then I'm just adjusting it. And you can put it up here. Boom, start button. And then after you make your button, always group it. Like anything in Figma, when you think you're like done with something, just group it so it's just one thing, and then we can like change the size and whatnot. But it doesn't retain like it doesn't change the text size, so you would have to like change that each time you do that. Yeah, and to readjust it, unfortunately. Boom.
You can use the align tools.
The align tool?
Yeah.
Yeah, where is it?
It's like
Yeah. Boom. I think it's because it's not like that, huh? There you go.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got it. There you go. Hooray! No street. Group. And then let's see. We'll do prototyping right now.
Mhm.
Okay, let's do prototyping. This is the UX part. See how people would see it.
Real quick. Oh, it's not there. That.
Is it because of the bears in the way? Oh, it was. Oh my god. Prototyping is basically like you can like make an animation with it when someone interacts with it, just so you can see like how the player would interact with that button. Okay, I'm kind of bad at explaining it, but I think if I show it, it'll make more sense. Okay, let me do this. So you click on your button right here, and then you click on this plus sign, and then you drag it to here, and then we want this button to change, right? This button from here to change to something different. So I'm gonna make this maybe a different color. The design. Forgot to change it in design. Maybe red. And then go back to prototype. I think it would change. I press play just to see how it would work. Oh, click start. Boom, it turned red. Yay! Okay, cool. Now, I'm gonna be giving it over to Roman to show how you can like set up the layouts and stuff.
Yes. Like, for example, most games would need a main menu, so I can show you how to make a main menu. That's very, very simplified. So, of course, start with your frame, and desktop is usually pretty good because most games would be on a desktop, most likely. So, if you go to design and scroll down to layout guide, you can create grids, columns, and rows to like help lay out your menu. And I would suggest columns. That'll be the best in setting that to 10. And you can make them any color you want. I just like this reddish color because everything's red. So of course you probably start with your title. Oh, there you go. Your title. And you can use these white lines to help you figure out spacing. So your title would be in the center. Like that. You can move it around like this. Move it like that. So it's pretty and perfectly centered. And then you can put the title in. Best, oh my god, I can't spell best game ever, yay. Okay, and then resize that as well. Make sure that fits into the square that you made. And then after you do that, that's when you can add your buttons. So if you alt, click, and drag, that duplicates assets, which is very useful to make things much quicker to do. So then you can like shift, click, drag to resize the button. And it's good to make sure your button fits in the middle as well because that looks nice, unless you have a different idea for your main menu. And then, well, yeah, so put your button, and then you can alt drag to make multiple buttons. And if you wanted to change the spacing of your buttons, you could click, drag to select them all, and then go to spacing right here, and it says mixed because it's not equal, so you can set it to a numeric value, like 50, for example. And so now they're all pretty and perfectly spaced. And for example, yeah, this was where you would use a frame most likely. So you would right click, click frame selection, and that way you could retain the spacing or you could change it right here. Or if you wanted it to be horizontal, you could click this button right here to make it horizontal. You'd have to resize it a bit because it's not perfect, it's a fairly new feature. But yeah, then put that back to how it was. So yeah, here's your buttons, and then you could add anything as your background if you wanted to. And then you can figure out which buttons do what. For example, your start button. And speaking of that, you would want your buttons to be, of course, smaller than your title screen because of visual hierarchy, where you want the main thing to be the biggest and sub things to be smaller. So yeah, okay, so that's your start. Let's say that's your quit, and then make sure that's centered. Make sure it's centered. There you go. And then random button explode, because why not? So yeah, this is like a very basic main menu, and then you could change the background by going to fill and putting whatever color you want. And you can also make it a gradient too, which is pretty cool in Figma. You can do gradients, you can do linear gradients, radial gradients, angular gradients, diamond gradients, so many gradients. And then there's that. And then once you're done, you can turn off your columns. Just click the minus button right there. And you have a very basic main menu screen. And then if you wanted to use prototyping, you could select the frame, Control-C, Control-V, copy-paste, and then change the start to red because it's red now. Boom. And then go to prototype, select this, select the button, go to that, so it goes to the next frame. Select this one, click the play button, best game ever, click start, and now it's red. Wow, we did it.
Wow.
Oh my god, best game ever. And then you could also do that with explode. Let's see what we could do with explode. I don't even know.
Overlay like a PNG of an explosion.
So
A PNG of an explosion. Let's find one real quick.
Let's go.
Explode. Explode. Let's choose this one. And then let's get rid of everything here and make it an explosion. Wow, it's so cool. Oh my god, explosions. Okay, there we go. We'll actually make it even bigger.
Yeah.
Fire.
Is it even in the frame? Oh, it isn't.
It's enough in the frame. Actually, make sure. Oh yeah, file right here. It shows you all your layers. I almost forgot. So make sure things are in the layer you want it to be in, or else it won't show up. So now that's in the layer. Before it was not. That's why it was clipping out. Okay, so yeah, back to the first one. Click play, and then you can resize this by going to that button and then go to fit, width, and height. There you go. So yeah, best game ever. Explode. Boom. We did it. Yay! Yay! They can go back and click start. Oh, I got it started. And then yay! Yay! Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, that's how you can make a very basic main menu. And then if you have your own assets, of course you can import them. Go to file. Actually, Figma's weird. You can't import things through file. You'd have to just like go to your file explorer and drag it in. But either way, you can also prototype with external assets. And that is about it. Do you have anything to add?
Icon
Icon
Finder.
Icon
Free
Finder.
assets on Figma that you can use for your game.
Yes, Icon
So you don't have to
Finder.
like pick everything yourself because I know some things are difficult to make.
Yeah, Icon Finder is a really good website to find free icons. Make sure you have it set to free because some you have to pay for because they're evil. But yeah, all these are free. There's that, and then Figma has built-in assets as well. The assets menu, you can search for anything. Let's say explosion. Is there an explosion? Of course they don't. Arrow. Let's put an arrow. It's more normal. Okay, so yeah, there's all these arrows you can put in. So you can just drag it in. Oh, you have to agree to.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, you have to agree to that. Whatever that was. I can talk about that. Yeah, it's really tiny. So you usually have to like resize it, and it's still pretty tiny. Okay, let's go to design, and let's go to. Where is it? You can't. I don't see the resize here. Oh, dimensions. Oops, I can't read. Oh, it's not resizing, and that's because the icons are different and unique. So you usually have to, I think, flatten them. Yeah, that helps. Now you can resize it. So yeah, right click and flatten is what you would do for that. And then you can change the color to be anything you want. And we can add it to this, our awesome cool game, and put it like right here next to explode, because maybe there's more secrets next to explode. I don't know. But yeah, there's that. So yeah, icons.
When using Icon Finder, it's best to like download it as an SVG, so you
Yes.
can resize it and manipulate it in Figma. Like you can also change the colors in Figma if you download it as an SVG.
Yeah, so you click on it and then go to SVG right here, download. It's downloading, it downloaded, yay. And then you go to your files. And then, like I said, you'd have to drag it in there. Oh my god, don't blow up. Okay, yeah. Ignore that. Oh yeah, so yeah, click and drag, and in there, and there's your SVG, and then you can change the colors. Whoa, that's so cool, wow. And then put it next to I don't know, make sure everyone knows it's the best game ever. With some arrows that point at it in case anyone missed it. Like that. And then you can flip it. Where's the flip? Right there. Right there. Best game ever. And then you go to your desktop. Wow. Wow, best game ever. Yay, and then explode, boom. Okay, so there's that. Anything else?
Exporting.
Exporting, yes.
Your buttons, all the other assets.
Well, yeah, so Figma is special. So you have to go scroll all the way down because it's not obvious. So there's an export at the very bottom. So you click the plus, and that's where you can choose what file type. So there's only PNG, JPEG, SVG, and PDF. So you most likely use PNG for your assets, and maybe JPEG for bigger pictures. I don't really know. So yeah, you go there, export PNG, and then this button right here can like resize your assets for you, so that way you don't have to keep resizing it yourself. So one time just means it's going to be the original size, and then that will mean like double the size and so on. So there's that. Then you export it, and then you would save the file as whatever. What did I? Oh, start. And then so now it's in my files, and now there's a start button that you can use for your game. Yay! Yay! Start button. And then there's that too. Yay! Anything else?
Talk about the frame, column.
So how would I export like the entire thing at once? Do I just select everything and then hit export?
You can do that, or you can select the frame that everything's in,
Yes.
and then export it like that. But you have to select the frame by touching like the name of the frame.
Click the name right there, and then go to export down there, and then click PNG, and then export it, and then it's in your files. And then yeah, and then that works. So it's in there. There we go, best game ever, yay! So that'll export your main menu. But yeah, if you wanted to export things individually, you have to click on each thing and then export it, because yeah, that's how that works. Anything else?
I mean, we can show them like how to do animation on Figma, maybe.
Ooh, that'll be all you.
Oh, me?
Yep, I don't know how to do that.
Okay. Yeah, you can animate in Figma, not just with the image changing, but you can also have images move. Okay. I'm gonna use this example. Oh, hold on. Oh, I did Control Z. It's evil. Okay. Okay. Sorry. And then I can have it like, I think like this. Just move it to the side. Right? That's how it works? Okay.
Yeah.
Smart animate. You have to make this smart animate so that it can move. I think that should work. Let me see. Oh.
Do it again, like, so, yeah. Come see.
Oh yeah, huh? You're right. Fit within height.
Then
Go back. I click on it. Zoom. See, move that way. See? It's a cool way to animate in Figma. Hooray! Unless you have anything else, because I can't think of anything. Perfect.
Any questions?
Can I export the prototypes into an engine directly?
I don't think so. So yeah, exporting prototypes, can that be done? I don't think it can be done. I don't see anything to. Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
It is a good reference though. Like you want something to happen, and you make it in Figma, like all the animations and stuff, and you can try copying that when you program it.
Yeah, I think you just have to replicate it because I don't see any options to export it. Yeah, you can't export it, the prototypes. You can screen record.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah, okay.
oh yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah, that was Figma. Yay! Thank you so much for coming. Yay!